Welcome to the first annual World of Warcraft Private Server Awards. I have played on around 30 servers this year, some of them better, some worse. And with the year coming to an end, let's have a look at the most memorable ones. The servers will be awarded in 10 categories. The best rookie, the most populated, the most interesting, the best scripted, the best instant max level, the best BLIZZLIKE, the biggest disappointment, the most controversial, People's Champ, and the overall winner. This video is sponsored by gtop100.com, the place to find best private servers and free games. Combine that with my many World of Warcraft server reviews and you might find a good server you've never heard of before. Starting off with the first category, the best rookie server of 2022. This category is for the servers that came out sometime during this year and started fresh. That means everyone started from scratch without the ability of using their old characters or transferring characters from another server. There were quite a few candidates for this award. We had the annual Frostmourne Realm by Warmane, which releases fresh every year in April. Although it was off to a good start, the population decreased drastically over the first few months, to the point that it is now difficult to even get a 2v2 arena queue on the server. At this point, in December 2022, the population of Frostmourne only reaches up to around 3,000 players at peak, considering the numbers on the website are correct, which is nowhere near the 12,000 that it had initially. The other candidate and the actual winner of this category, which not only started strong with around 3,500 players at launch, it actually held on to most of its population long term, even after almost a full year of its existence. This server still reaches up to around 3,000 players online at peak. Stormforge Mistblade, team from famous projects Atlantis and Tauri, came with a brand new server, progressive content, impeccable functionality, and overall a polished World of Warcraft experience in both PvE and PvP. This server deserves the award for the Rookie of the Year, and I hope Stormforge keeps delivering, whether on their Mistblade Mist of Pandaria or a possible Cataclysm realm in the future. The award for the most populated server can only get one that you have almost likely already heard about. It is really difficult to compare the population on servers since not all of them reveal the numbers, and some of them have also been accused of faking the numbers of their population. But one thing that cannot lie is the activity on the server. How easy or difficult it is to get into instance PvP and PvE. How long is the queue time? How many people do you meet questing or just slacking in the capitals? The biggest servers that come to mind include Turtle WoW, Ascension, or WoW Circle, with Circle being probably the biggest with well over 10,000 players online at any given moment. At least that's what they say, and the activity on the server is crazy good too. Very comparable, but I still don't think it would overthrow the one and only Wrath of the Lich King powerhouse Warmane. No matter how much you hate it, if you've ever played on it, you have to agree. Getting arena queues at literally any time of the day, Dalaran packed full of people, global chat spammed by raid group finding, this is something you just don't see anywhere else. At least not at this capacity. From what I've seen, Warmane is the biggest, most populated private server, and it will be for a long time. I have actually made a video on the most interesting custom World of Warcraft private servers this year, and I don't think anything would change since. There are quite a few really good and innovative servers out there for those that want something new, but don't want to leave the World of Warcraft environment. Turtle WoW is amazing in this regard. They offer you a bunch of custom content combined with a high population that only few private servers have. I've also heard about a server called Shinobi Story. It is a World of Warcraft in Naruto style. Yeah, pretty crazy, right? I haven't gotten to try it out yet, so I can't include it in this year's awards, but it might be a strong candidate for next year if I ever get to play there. And I also wanted to shout them out since it looks like a pretty cool idea. But wait, there's one more. The epitome of custom World of Warcraft, and that is Ascension. Ascension is World of Warcraft done right, with super strong marketing, functionality and population, constant progression and changes. They put so much effort into it and it pays off. People love it, it is a great business, and it is a server never seen before. I've played on it only briefly since I still prefer the original WoW expansions, but I can definitely recommend Ascension to anyone bored with the game. Private servers in 2022 already are of a really high standard when it comes to scripting. Rarely do you see an annoying bug or something not working for an extended period of time with no fixes. Even Twin Stars Apollo 1 and 3 Cataclysm Realms that will be mentioned in a category later are actually really well scripted. Stormforge's Mist of Pandaria is great too, but you know why? Because they got it from Tauri. And I would say Tauri is probably the best scripted private server that I have played on. Granted, the differences between, let's say, top 5 best scripted servers are only mild. Having old raids from previous expansions and even Tall Barat scripted properly on a Mist of Pandaria server, that impressed the heck out of me. I just wish it would be as active as it used to be. Tauri is working on the Legion expansion now, so I'm expecting nothing less in terms of quality. Firestorm's Greymane instant level 110 PvP server is my dream server. Honestly, I had so much fun on it when it was new. Everybody loved it, it had so much to offer. It is still live. Unfortunately, the population there is almost non-existent now. Then there is another historian, Panda WoW Mist of Pandaria instant level 90 PvP server. Easily one of the best instant PvP servers out there. It's been out for a very long time. I just revisited it earlier this week and the BGs are still active on the server. Arenas not so much, and the thing I dislike about the server is that you start with Tyrannical gear, which is 2 seasons lower than the best in slot. That means there is around 55 item level disparity between a fresh player and an old player, making it essentially impossible for a new player to be competitive. I expect instant servers to give you the opportunity to play endgame without the necessity of endless grinding of levels and gear. But on Panda WoW, you will have to go through the entire gearing through BGs and getting honor points, as well as conquest points and arenas. WoW Circle's Wrath of Lich King also has an instant server option. You can find a video of me playing there earlier this year. The gear disparity is also huge. There's almost no player without Shadowmourne, making it virtually impossible to play there unless you donate for best in slot gear yourself. And so we come to Warmane's Blackrock. I keep saying this every time I mention Blackrock in my videos, but the fact that you are literally ready in a matter of seconds, not minutes, but seconds, for a competitive gameplay, just clicking an NPC where you spawn and getting your preset talents, gear with gems and enchants, makes it so much easier to not waste time and just get into PvP as soon as possible. And the PvP is active. All day, all night, almost all brackets. Naturally, it will be more difficult to assemble a 3v3 team than it is to play 2v2, but having the luxury of being able to play at literally any time of the day feels so good. But let me warn you, these instant servers are the most toxic places you will see in World of Warcraft. Get ready to fill your ignore list with a bunch of nasty people. There aren't as many BLIZZLIKE servers anymore. Most servers have changed their approach with time. Even the most stubborn BLIZZLIKE servers have opted to at least 2 times or 3 times XP rates if nothing else. But there is one that is still very close to BLIZZLIKE and is actually extremely popular among players. That is Warmane's Lordaeron. The realm is still ×1, it has more challenging content, unfortunately or fortunately, it is cross-realm, so it will fight against people from non-BLIZZLIKE Warmane realms too, which may seem a bit unfair, but otherwise it would be way less active, especially in terms of PvP on the server. It is probably the most popular BLIZZLIKE choice nowadays. I'm not a big fan of BLIZZLIKE anymore. I wouldn't be able to level a 169th character on X1 raids through the same quests, zones and dungeons again, but I understand if you are. From the best to the worst. What was the server that was super hyped, with tons of expectations, that just didn't deliver and failed us all? Forging by Stormforge? The Wrath of Lich King server that was dead on arrival? No, because there was literally zero expectation. OpenWow's instant Cataclysm server that launched only a few days ago? No, not really. The only pseudo hype was created by myself and I was still being relatively realistic, so it didn't really disappoint me. Felsong's Legion that didn't even launch despite promising a 2022 release? No, let's give them time if they need it. Worst case scenario, they win this award next year. Now, none of these disappointed me nearly as much as the winner of this category. I've actually gotten the most messages from disappointed players of that server, leaving it only about 2 weeks after it launched. This server was released only a few days before 2022 in December 2021, but it is still live and playable now and was one of the bigger players on the private server scene throughout 2022. Now you probably know which one I'm talking about, the fresh Cataclysm realm by Twinstar, Apollo 3. Yes, the one realm that really got me started with YouTube was the biggest disappointment of this year. I would have been so happy if Apollo 3 succeeded. They had everything going for them. They not only had me, an up-and-coming YouTuber, essentially doing free promotion for them, they also had Sanmedina. Of course, back then both of us were only small YouTubers starting out, but look at us now. At almost 5,000 subscribers combined, that could have been free exposure for Apollo had they held on to their player base and had they cared about the project at least a little bit. But hey, there's always Apollo 4 around the corner and a chance to mess it up once again, right? Private servers today are surrounded by all kinds of controversy. From an ex-admin on Apollo creating gear for characters for testing purposes on the live realm, to servers formerly deleted and renamed to again emerge on the private server scene claiming the corrupt staff is gone and everything will be perfect this time around. But the one I paid the most attention to, despite not playing on the server myself, was the Engor Everlook situation. Had anybody told me I would be watching a 2-hour long video reaction from Sanmedina to Engor's video, I would be like, no way, I have better things to do. Well, I did watch all of it and it was super entertaining too. We need people like that. It actually made me interested in what was going on with the server even more. And then banning Engor, that was a controversy in and of itself. Some people agreed, some disagreed, some people left the server over it. Some people probably quit the server because Engor was killing them repeatedly or they couldn't finish their escort quest. Everlook server was also a strong candidate for the best rookie of the year since it launched only a few weeks ago with a huge hype and many content creators covering it. But its downfall came shortly after the launch with a lot of drama surrounding not only Engor but also the head developer who left the project, followed by the aforementioned content creators as well. What a story. People's Champ goes to the server that you, the people, have voted for. First, I thought I would let you vote online on my Discord, in a post on YouTube and during a live stream, but then I realized this wouldn't really be fair to the servers that I'm not playing on myself, because the votes I would get would be those of my audience, the people that prefer playing on the servers that I make content about. Warmane Wrath of Lich King, Stormforge Mist of Pandaria, maybe some Cataclysm servers, while vanilla or TBC servers would have no chance. That's why I will keep the voting for this category open and let you, the people watching this video, decide in the comments. Let us know which one is your own favorite private server of 2022. And finally, the last category, the overall winner, the best server of all of them. For me, it is the server I have spent the most hours playing this year. A strong candidate was Twinstar's Apollo 1 and 3. Although it was a disappointment, I spent a lot of time playing on Apollo 3 up to some 3 weeks into it being released, and I had a lot of fun on it in that short time. I also played a few hours on it during the year, especially in Apollo 1, playing some casual PvP and BGs mostly. I've also spent a lot of time leveling on Stormforge's Mistblade. The leveling there took quite a while, and I'm glad I was eventually able to level up a Death Knight and a Paladin, but once I hit the max level, I was a bit burned out and demotivated to continue playing on max level. Wrath of Lich King Classic was also a big time investment for me, but of course, this video is all about private servers. But the one I have spent the most time on by a mile, not only leveling but also playing PvE and PvP, my personal #1 server of 2022, and I'm so glad I started playing on it more actively this year. My overall winner for the best World of Warcraft private server goes to Warmane's Wrath of the Lich King. I have leveled on Frostmourne 3, but also on Icecrown, did dungeons on both of those realms too, and many hours of PvP on the Blackrock realm. I had so much fun. I started essentially as a rookie in Wrath of the Lich King, despite having played it before, I have never really been too serious about the expansion or war main itself, so this has been very refreshing and also a good preparation for Wrath of Lich King Classic, which I hope I will have time to play more of once Old War and Furious PvP season come out. Okay, the awards have been given out. Mission accomplished. I have only so much time to play WoW, so obviously I haven't played on every single private server there is, but I think I have a pretty good idea about private servers and I wanted to share my thoughts. And you have the opportunity to share yours too. Let me know in the comments your own winners for each category, and you can include your own extra categories as well. Thanks again to the sponsor of the video, gtop100.com, and I will see you in 2023.